So, we've talked about assets and how they're like the school's cool stuff. Now, let's dive deeper into how we keep track of the really big stuff. Think about the school building itself, the sports fields, or even the computers in the lab. These aren't things we use up quickly like paper or pencils. They stick around for a long time and help the school run. That's where property, plant, and equipment, or PPE, comes into play. It's a special way of accounting for these long-lasting assets. Imagine buying a brand new school bus. It costs a lot of money, and you expect it to last for many years. Instead of just saying, okay, the bus costs $50,000, and forgetting about it, PPE helps us track its value over time. As the bus gets older and we use it more, it slowly loses some of its value. This is called depreciation. It's like saying, okay, the bus has done its job for a year, so it's not worth quite as much anymore. We write off a little bit of its value each year. This shows that the bus is getting older and closer to needing replacement. Think of the school's computers. They might be top of the line now, but in a few years, they'll be slower and less powerful. PPE helps us account for that decline in value. It's not just about physical wear and tear, either. Sometimes, things become obsolete. Imagine the school still had old-fashioned typewriters. They might still work, but they're not very useful anymore. PPE can also help us account for when an asset becomes outdated. So, why is PPE important? Well, it gives a more accurate picture of what the school is really worth. If we didn't track depreciation, it would look like the school always had brand new equipment. That wouldn't be very realistic. It also helps the school plan for the future. By knowing when assets are likely to need replacement, the school can start saving up money ahead of time. This way, they're not caught off guard when the bus finally breaks down. PPE also helps with things like insurance. If something happens to an asset, like a fire in the computer lab, the school needs to know how much those assets were worth. PPE provides that information. It's like having a detailed inventory of all the school's valuable possessions. So, next time you see a new piece of equipment at school, remember that there's a whole system in place to track its value. It's not just about buying something and forgetting about it. PPE helps the school manage its resources wisely. It ensures they're making smart decisions about how to spend money. And it helps them plan for the long term. Think of it as responsible asset management. It's like taking care of your own belongings. You want to make sure they last as long as possible. And you want to know their value if something happens to them. PPE is the school's way of doing the same thing. It's a way of being organized and responsible with valuable resources. So, while it might seem like a boring accounting term, PPE is actually a really important part of keeping the school running smoothly. It helps ensure that we have the resources we need to learn and grow. And it helps the school make smart decisions for the future. So, that's PPE in a nutshell. It's all about tracking the value of the school's big, long-lasting assets and making sure they're used wisely. It's an important part of keeping the school in good shape and ready for the future. So we don't just forget about our assets, we track how they wear out. Think of it like your phone. It's awesome when it's new, but it gets slower, and the battery doesn't last as long over time. This wearing out process is called depreciation. It's how we account for that loss of value. There are different ways to calculate it, but the main idea is to spread the cost of the asset over its useful life. Imagine buying a brand new school bus. It's a big expense, right? Instead of counting the whole cost right away, we spread it out. So, if we think a bus will last for 10 years, we might reduce its value by $5,000 each year. That $5,000 is the depreciation expense for that year. This helps the school or company get a more accurate picture of its finances. It shows a more realistic view of what they own and what it's worth. It also helps them plan for the future. If they know the bus will need replacing in 10 years, they can start saving up for a new one. They can budget accordingly and avoid a surprise financial hit. PPE isn't just about buses, though. That's just one example. It applies to all sorts of long-lasting assets, from computers and furniture to factory, equipment, and even the land a building sits on. Even the land depreciates, though it's called depletion for natural resources. Think of a company that owns a forest. As they harvest the trees, the value of the land decreases. It's all about understanding and managing the value of the stuff that helps us do what we do. Without PPE, it would be hard to keep track of what a company really owns. It also helps investors understand the financial health of the company. Depreciation is like a secret language that tells a story about how assets are used and maintained. It's a key part of accounting and financial management. So, next time you see a shiny new piece of equipment, remember that its value is slowly decreasing over time. And that's depreciation at work. Understanding PPE helps us make smart decisions about investments. It also helps us understand the true cost of doing business. By tracking depreciation, we can ensure that we're prepared for the future. We can also make sure that we're not overvaluing our assets. This is important for both businesses and individuals. After all, nobody wants to be caught off guard by a sudden expense. PPE helps us avoid those surprises. It gives us a clear picture of our financial situation, and that's something we can all appreciate. So, remember PPE. It's more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. It's a way to understand the value of the things we use every day. It's a way to plan for the future. And it's a way to make smart financial decisions. That's why PPE is so important. It's a fundamental concept in accounting and finance. And it's something that everyone should understand. Even if you're not an accountant, understanding PPE can help you make better decisions about your own finances. So, take some time to learn about PPE. It's an investment that will pay off in the long run. You'll be glad you did. It's a valuable tool for understanding the world around us. And it's a skill that will serve you well throughout your life. So, embrace PPE and unlock its power.